If you thought I wasn't going to talk about Meghan Markle, you are sadly mistaken. All right, Meghan Markle was on some podcast and she showed off her beautiful bare face. And let's just say, first of all, this girl is stunning. She's absolutely beautiful. You know, she's like, I think Meghan Markle's like 43 or something. I could be wrong, but she's in her 40s, right? She's not like some spring chicken. She's a mature woman and she's gorgeous. But I saw so many comments that I want to talk about. Also, to be somebody that says you want privacy and you're on podcasts puts you in the line of fire.
Peace, peace, peace. It's got to be peace. All I want is peace. And I went, no, I can't have peace without truth.
Two things here. I think everyone has a basic right to privacy. Basic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about anything that anybody else wouldn't expect. So
The crazy part is some woman got in a huge fight with me on TikTok about the peace, and said, you didn't watch the longer clip. She's talking about basic peace and privacy. And I'm going, no, she always said she wanted her privacy. In fact, if you watch the full docuseries, she's literally scared, frantically scared of paparazzi. And there's no one following them. Literally one guy on a moped. And she's like, is he still back there? Is he still back there? Look, oh my God, it's the same guy. She's delusional, okay? No one is hounding her here in America. No one was hounding her in the UK until she started acting like a freaking weirdo diva. Brought it all on herself. And the weird part is she went out there saying she wants peace, because if the peace is not her truth, her lived truth, she doesn't want any part of it. And if my grandmama was still alive, she would have said, girl, you know, when somebody says they want peace, they don't really want peace, okay? Because that's not something you go out and talk about. You just go quietly into the sunset and do your own thing, and nobody even knows you're around. Wants attention. You're giving yourself a platform. You're going out and doing things. So you're saying to the public, I don't want you to talk about me, but I want you to talk about me. Understand, once you put yourself out there as a public figure, you're going to be discussed. You're going to be dissected. This is a publicist standpoint, by the way. I'm a publicist, and what that means is I help people with their image. I help people with their branding. And people like Meghan Markle has been trying to rebrand herself for probably a year and a half now, and nothing's worked. All right. She's tried so hard to rebrand herself and it's not working. And let me tell you why it's not working. No matter how much sincerity a person brings, once you've broken people's trust in you, their faith in you, they're not going to stand by it anymore. Meghan Markle went out and bashed the royal family, a family that she wanted to be in clearly. You know, she bashed them. She basically called them racist. And she went on Oprah, of all things, and did an interview talking about the race of her children and how dark their skin was. And mind you, this whole time I was watching Meghan, I kept thinking, this is a white woman. Like, I never saw a black woman, not even for a second. All right. But let's look at the comments, and just so you can understand why it's going to be really hard for her to rebrand. She is who she is now. She's going to have a split 50-50. She's going to have 50% of the people out there that are like, go Meghan, I love you, girl, you are it. And 50% that's just going to hate her. All right. I'm on the fence. I believe that Meghan Markle still has a chance to rebrand, but she just is not focusing on the most important thing that she can do. And I'm not going to tell her because I'm not getting paid. But it says, oh my gosh, people, stop, because she went makeup free. You are kidding me. She can't fart without being hated. And what is the problem? Besides nothing, she's still beautiful without her makeup. This is all the positives, right? And I certainly am not going to focus on the negative because I don't like reading negative comments, but I want to explain why people are saying this. This whole look gives Pam Anderson, all right? She already did this thing where she did some Netflix show, which I didn't watch, guys, but she tried to do the whole cooking, and Pam Anderson did it. You got people like Gwyneth Paltrow did the same thing. This isn't it. Like, why is she trying to do this no makeup look? All right. She's a princess. She's a Duchess of Sussex. And this is not the brand. This is not the brand. I don't know who's advising her. Meghan, go on, look gorgeous, be stunning, be who you are. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. But it's also for me, and this is just my opinion, the fact that she's not even made up with her dad. Okay? Her dad is probably on his deathbed as we speak. We don't know. The man is not in great health. She's not made up with her dad. Harry still is disconnected from his family. That's just a hint of what I'm talking about, how she can rebrand herself. This isn't going to work for everyone, but there is one clear way she could do it. You guys chime in the comments and you let me know what you think.